For 41 years now, the WWE have run their annual event WrestleMania. WrestleMania is always the biggest event of the year and often results in the climax of the biggest storylines and results in some huge moments. WrestleMania has always been an event that fans can look forward to, and although sometimes the build-up to WrestleManias are inconsistent, with some WrestleManias having great builds and some WrestleManias having more poor builds, the one thing that fans can always get excited for is the WrestleMania set. Now, of course, sometimes fans can be let down with the set not being as extravagant as they would like it to be, but most of the time the WWE deliver, and they deliver big. Now, first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jack, and I would like to welcome you all to my channel. This is my first ever YouTube video, so please excuse the editing if it's not very good. I'm going to try and stay as consistent as possible with wrestling video uploads. I have been a wrestling fan my whole life, and I thought it was maybe appropriate to finally start this YouTube channel that I have always wanted to try and do. Now that WrestleMania 41 is in the rearview mirror, I feel like this is a very appropriate time to get started, and what better thing to start with than to rate the WrestleMania stages. So, first of all, coming in at number 10 is the WrestleMania 27 stage. This entry into the list can be seen as ironic, as WrestleMania 27 is probably known as the worst WrestleMania of all time, largely due to the match card. However, separating the match card from the stage is very easily doable. It doesn't matter that the main event was John Cena vs The Miz, with a screwy finish from The Rock, but the WrestleMania 27 stage was beautiful. It had a simple yet sleek design. The WrestleMania sign at the top is just so cool. I feel like every single WrestleMania should have the big letters on the sign. Some of the stages don't all the time have that, or it will just be on the LED screen, but the actual physical letters on the top of the WrestleMania 27 stage was perfect. Also, the huge screen in the background was probably the first time WWE had used a screen of that size, and it just looked great at the time with a lot of the entrances, such as Triple H's special entrance that year going up against The Undertaker, with all the barbarians on the stage, and then the LED being all covered in fire and war flags and stuff of that nature. Moving on, at number 9, the WrestleMania 30 stage. So this was 2014, the first time that WWE had hosted WrestleMania in New Orleans, I believe. It was also the first ever WrestleMania on the WWE network, so WWE knew that they had to go all out on this stage. They were going to have so many new eyes on the product, and all these people that were watching WWE for the first time were going to see that WrestleMania stage for the first time in their lives, and it was a beauty. The WrestleMania 30 stage was basically just the WrestleMania 30 logo, but there's nothing wrong with that. It's a really nice WrestleMania logo, and for it to be on that scale and that size, the colourway with the purple and the yellows, it was just great. It really fit into the arena well in the Superdome, and I think all round it can be agreed on as one of the best stages of all time. Coming in at number 8, I feel like some of you might be surprised that I put this on the list, perhaps higher above other stages that a lot of you love. But for me, it's the WrestleMania 31 stage. The WrestleMania 31 stage is really simple. It has the big block writing of the WrestleMania wording, like I mentioned for the WrestleMania 27 sign that I love. If a WrestleMania stage has that block writing, I will likely love it. But overall, I just loved the whole Silicon Valley theme, the WrestleMania being all digitalized, the big play button on the stage. I just think it fitted the atmosphere and the setting perfectly, and this is one of the first WrestleManias that had to look good in daylight and during the night, because the show was on the West Coast in San Francisco, and it had to look good during the day and during the night. And no matter what timestamp you put in at WrestleMania 31, whenever you're watching that show, whatever match you're at, the stage looks fantastic. Coming in at number 7, the WrestleMania 19 stage. The WrestleMania 19 stage isn't the biggest, well, apart from the big cone on the side. The big cone on the side is pretty large, but for the actual stage itself, it wasn't the biggest, it isn't the grandest. It certainly did probably have the longest ramp in WrestleMania history, but overall the WrestleMania 19 stage is just a great stage. It looks perfect to me. It fitted the stadium perfectly, much like the WrestleMania 31 and WrestleMania 30 stages did. I feel like designing these stages would take a whole lot of work to try and figure out what would suit the stadium's shape and size the best, and the Mania 19 stage just looked perfect in my eyes. Also, not that the card matters, like I said with WrestleMania 27, but WrestleMania 19 being one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time only complemented with how good that stage looked. Coming in at number 6, from New Jersey, New York, the WrestleMania 35 stage. No, I'm just joking. Even though I have a spiritual connection to the WrestleMania 35 stage because it's the one and only WrestleMania I have ever attended, the stage wasn't great. Coming in at number 6, of course, is the WrestleMania 29 stage. To a lot of people, this stage is perfect. I love how WWE began theming their WrestleMania stages around the city that they were in. WrestleMania 28 could be considered as the first one that was, because it just had palm trees, but WrestleMania 29 truly was the first stage that encapsulated the city that it was in. With the Statue of Liberty above the ring, the Empire State Building on the stage, and of course the Brooklyn Bridge, the WrestleMania 29 stage just screamed New York, New Jersey, and it was the perfect stage for the night. Now, coming in at number 5, one of the reasons why I wanted to hold off on making this video until after WrestleMania 41 is because coming in at number 5 is the WrestleMania 41 stage. Now, I love looking at stage leaks online in the build up to WrestleMania, probably like a week before WrestleMania they start building the stage. And from the get-go, WrestleMania 41 looked very promising, but my god, the reveal on WWE's YouTube channel and then seeing it in the stadium for the first time, WrestleMania 41, even though it was only last week, will definitely go down as having one of the best stages of all time. I believe that the stage was based off of the Grand Plaza Hotel in Vegas itself, so following on from my last point about WrestleMania 29, when WWE themes their stages around the city that the event is taking place, I think it's just a perfect scenario. The WrestleMania 41 stage delivered, and it was a great show. Well, I say it was a great show. WrestleMania Saturday was awful until the main event. WrestleMania Sunday, however, great show. Now that we're in the top 5, next up at number 4, the WrestleMania 39 stage. To a lot of people this is number 1, and I feel like to anyone watching this they might be surprised that it's not number 1. This is just a personal preference list, but WrestleMania 39 can't be denied as one of the greatest stages of all time. The Hollywood theming, my personal favourite part of the stage was the moving posters at the left side and the right side of the stage. Going through all these fictional movies that WWE had created with the wrestlers on it was just fantastic. It was a great visual throughout the whole night. Similar to WrestleMania 31 being on the West Coast, this WrestleMania started during the day and ended at night time. Although this was an enclosed stadium, the SoFi roof is see-through, it's glass, I'm sure. So WWE had to think what would look good during the day and during the night, not to the extent of WrestleMania 31, but it was still a factor. Overall, WrestleMania 39 is just a beautiful stage, and it had the big blocky writing at the top. Coming in at number 3, we are returning to New Orleans, just like WrestleMania 30, but even though WrestleMania 30 was a much better show than WrestleMania 34, I don't think it's an argument that the WrestleMania 34 stage was better than WrestleMania 30 stage. WrestleMania 34 in the Superdome, man, what a lackluster show. The first half of the show was pretty decent, the second half is just so boring. But my god, the stage, as soon as you've seen the stage, you know, it was just so lovely to look at, genuinely. The big Mardi Gras mask is the centerpiece, and then all the kind of hexagonal LEDs around it. It was such a lovely, lovely stage. Which really made me even sadder when I went to WrestleMania 35, because the WrestleMania 34 stage was superb, and the stage before that was also superb, but we will get to that in a moment. Coming in at number 2 for me, could be considered a dark horse here. I just love the stage, and for me that is WrestleMania 24. Now, this could be some sort of nostalgia. The first WrestleMania I ever watched was WrestleMania 22, but I feel like the first WrestleMania that I really remember watching for the first time might have been WrestleMania 24. However, I feel like you can take nostalgia out of this factor. WrestleMania 24 is just a beautiful stage. The big hotel look really just fitted the vibe of the Florida and the whole stadium. And no one can deny that during that main event between The Undertaker and Edge, that Undertaker entrance with all the fire on each side of the stage and that just huge towering hotel above him just looked fantastic. It was a superb stage. And coming in at number 1, I feel like it's extremely obvious. I kind of alluded to it earlier, but it's WrestleMania 33. Now I have actually just realised that my number 1 and 2 are both WrestleManias in Orlando, so next time WWE does a WrestleMania in Orlando, maybe it's worth getting that ticket. Because the WrestleMania 33 stage is the coolest stage I've seen in my life. Doesn't matter if it's wrestling, doesn't matter if it's a gig, doesn't matter if it's any other form of sporting event, whatever. The WrestleMania 33 stage is the coolest set in history of the world. The big Universal-esque logo, the big Earth on the centre stage with the WrestleMania blocky writing on that WrestleMania globe, it was beautiful. The roller coaster, the big drop ride on the left side, and not to mention that the ramp must have been like 80 feet in the air. It was like the top of the second tier of the fans. When the wrestlers walk out, they're looking right down on the fans. Not to mention that the actual ring itself, the canopy above the ring, was a big huge wrestling ring which looked great as well. It was just such a fun vibe, such a fun like theme park theme for this WrestleMania. The card, the WrestleMania 33 card was alright, it was decent, nothing special, but that stage is the greatest WrestleMania stage of all time. Now, and just like that, that concludes our list. So, to everyone who's watching, I don't know how many views this video is going to get, it's my first ever video, but to anyone who watched, please leave your replies in the comments below. What's your thoughts on my list? Would you move anything? Would you add anything? Is there any of your favourite stages of WrestleMania that I didn't even consider on this list? Just let me know. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for giving me your time and listening to me ramble. I hope the editing's okay on this, as I mentioned in the intro, but yeah, first video down, and I hope to continue uploading consistent wrestling videos. So if you're a wrestling fan and you enjoyed this video, then I don't see why you won't enjoy any more. So please subscribe, and I hope you have a lovely day. Goodbye.